The animals walked into the lake and did not come back. Cattle, goats, sheep, birds, everything moved in one line. No one stopped them. No one could. This is the story of Nyamgondho, son of Ombare. Long ago, at Gwasi in Luoland, there lived a poor man called Nyamgondho. He was a fisherman. He had no land, no cattle, and no wealth from his father. Each day he went to the lake to set his traps. Each evening he came back with little. Sometimes he could not sell any fish, so he ate everything himself, just to survive until the next day. One afternoon he went to check his traps. All of them were empty, not even one fish. This made him very sad. Empty traps meant hunger. He sat by the lake and thought about his life. He had nothing, no wealth, no help. Then he prayed. He called on God, the chief of creation and the chief of water. He asked for help. He said he was poor and hungry. He asked for fish. The next day he returned to the lake to check his traps again. But what he found was not fish. Inside his trap was an old woman. She was thin and looked weak. Nyamgondho was afraid when he saw her. He turned to run. But the woman spoke. She asked him not to leave her. She said she was human, just like him. Her voice was calm. Her words were simple. Nyamgondho stopped. He thought for a moment. Then he decided to help her. He freed the woman and took her home. He built a hut for her. After some time, the old woman became his wife. The next morning, something strange happened. Nyamgondho woke up and found his home full of animals. There were many cattle. There were goats and sheep. There were ducks and chickens. The place was full. This was the woman's wealth. It had come from the lake. Nyamgondho was no longer poor. People started coming to his home. They came to eat. They came to see his animals. His cows were too many for one person to milk in a day. He became rich. As time passed, he married more wives. He lived like a wealthy man. In those days, rich men and elders met to drink beer. Nyamgondho was now among them. One day he was invited to a feast. They were drinking new harvest beer. It was a big gathering. The men drank for a long time. They drank until late into the night. At last they left and went home. Nyamgondho also went home. He was tired and drunk. When he reached his home, he found the gate closed. He called out loudly for someone to open. No one answered. The woman from the lake and his other wives were asleep. He called again, still no answer. He kept calling until his voice became weak. The night was quiet. The animals moved slowly in the dark. No one came. Nyamgondho became angry. He shouted louder. Then he began to insult the old woman. He called her a slave. He said she was nothing. He said he had picked her from the lake. He spoke without respect. The old woman woke up and heard him. She came to the gate. She spoke to him. She told him not to insult her. She told him to speak to his younger wives instead. Then she said something that shocked him. She said she was his mother. She said she was the eyes he used to see. Nyamgondho refused to listen. He insulted her again. He called her a helpless slave. His words were harsh. The old woman became angry. She told him he was proud and ungrateful. She said their marriage was over. She said she was leaving. She told him he would be poor again. She said he would cry, but it would be too late. Nyamgondho did not believe her.
He asked how his wealth could disappear. He mocked her. Then he went to sleep. At dawn, the old woman woke up. She prepared to leave. She walked toward the lake. As she walked, the animals followed her. The cattle broke their ropes and followed. The goats followed. The sheep followed. The chickens and ducks followed. Everything moved behind her. She led the way. Soon Nyamgondho woke up. He saw what was happening and ran after them, but he was too late. The old woman reached the shore. She walked into the water. One by one, they disappeared. Even the granaries and their food seemed to follow. Soon the water covered everything. Nothing was left. Nyamgondho stood at the shore and looked at the lake. He said nothing. He leaned on his walking stick and stared at the water. He had lost everything. His grief was too much. There by the shore, Nyamgondho died alone. It is said that he later became a tree at that place, and even today people say you can see marks on the ground near the lake. They say those are the footprints of the animals that followed the old woman into the water. This is the story of Nyamgondho, son of Ombare, a man who rose from nothing, a man who lost everything, and all because he forgot respect.